TWiGames.com.
Welcome to this week's episode of TWiGames.com. We begin with the Wada's comments on the DS2 and Infinity Ward supposedly not developing Modern Warfare 3. But first, we begin with news from CES. Microsoft officially announced that Natal will be released holiday 2010, and they introduced their game room. Brian, I cannot wait to upload videos of you embarrassing yourself while playing Natal. Bam!
Let's start with the game room, Rich. It's going to be on PC and 360. It's going to be a place for your avatars to go and play old school arcade games. It's going to be $5 if you want to play them for both, $3 if you want to buy it for just one system, and it's also a 50 cents pay for one-time play. I like that addition.
You like that, Brian?
Yeah.
You like that? Because guess what? When these games were in the arcade, because that's what they're going for, right?
Yeah.
An arcade setting, they were like a nickel to play. Why are they 50 cents now for one play? Are you kidding me?
Back in my day, they were a nickel.
No, they were a nickel. At quarter max. I mean, how much money can you make off asteroids? They made so much. Like, come on, 50 cents for one play?
The only thing I don't like about it is I don't really need this housing for my avatars. I don't want to launch in a separate application. The thing I do like is how it's separate and it's bringing old school gaming back.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
No, but it's like home. Like, you know, the idea with home, they have some games, not quite this many, but yeah, I don't want to go into home, run up to the machine and play. I just want to click. All right, here's a list of games, asteroids.
Let's go.
Let's play.
And I want to see Warlords as my game. I hope it's coming.
Of course, the 4-player co-op game from back in the day is the only game that you're interested in, Bri.
But what about the Natal, all right? They said they're removing the chip that probably processed the skeletal movements.
Yeah.
And they said it's going to take 10 to 15% of processing power from the 360 now.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, there's a few things to think about this. One, Microsoft, they said that this isn't going to, affect the lag of the movements between, the processing, right? Yeah. But all the nerds on the internet and on the forums are saying otherwise. They're saying, it's quite a simple thing. Hardware does things better than software. If you're replacing hardware with software, it's not going to run as well. So, lag is going to be a big issue with Natal. That's
so.
Right?
Is it going to be worse?
It could potentially be worse.
And the biggest thing, the most obvious, is that they're not going to be able to retrofit old games to work with Natal. If it's using 100% of the CPU power and doesn't have 15% space, then it can't.
Not to mention, not just past games, though. What about, Halo Reach? So they're telling me that Halo Reach now, they're going to have to pull back some processing power from that game just to fit in Natal capabilities? Is that what's going on here? Because if that's what's going on, this Natal thing, this could end in a disaster. Like, if I'm a huge Xbox fan, I own the system, all this stuff. But if I see Microsoft out there, only talking about Natal for 2010, I'm a little worried. I am, honestly.
The CEO of Nintendo, Iwata, said about the successor for the DS, it will have highly detailed graphics and it will be necessary to have a sensor with the ability to read movements of people playing. Rich, motion is coming to the DS too. I'm officially putting you on suicide watch.
Nintendo, you're killing me, Nintendo. What are you turning video games into? Motion control on a handheld? What does that even mean? How would this even work? Why contemplate this? It doesn't make sense, Nintendo. I don't want this. If I'm on a subway, right?
Yeah.
And I have a handheld game with motion controls. What about the people who are walking around me and stuff? Is that going to screw me up?
Potential hazards. You might be hit someone in the face playing DS Sports.
How do you see on a little like if you're doing motion and stuff? How do you see on this little screen? It doesn't make sense. Don't force it into something just because motion is the new hot thing. I'm sick and tired of motion control. I just want to sit down and play a game. Push buttons, push the directional pad, and play games. Shoot, jump, all that stuff. Okay, I don't want to physically do it. I want to do it with buttons.
See, I'm officially putting you on suicide watch, I'm telling you. But here's what I thought about when I saw the story. What if DS2 wasn't going to be a handheld?
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to be a console, it was going to be both. What if you could just take it with you on the subway, when you got home, you plugged it in, and controllers would work with it?
It's a good idea, Bri. You can already do that with the PSP, but I see, it's not great. So I see where you're getting at. If somebody actually went forward and made that into like an actual thing, that'd be cool.
And Nintendo could pull it off. They could do it.
They could pull it off, but it would only be cool minus the motion controls, Bri. Do you see what's going on here, Bri? Minus the motion controls. That's what I want, okay? Rumors are spreading that Infinity Ward is not going to develop Modern Warfare 3. Instead, they will be working on an MMO. Brian, is the AC-130 going to be epic loots?
It's not just going to be epic loots. It's going to be artifact. Oranges, baby. But the rumors continued. They said they're hiring the ex-lead developer of EverQuest 2, and that Blizzard employees are going to help out. Rich, does Infinity Ward have the pedigree to pull this off?
I'm not sure, Bri. Honestly, I'm not sure. It makes sense. They're under Activision.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, Blizzard's also with Activision.
Yeah.
MMO, gee, I think they have the resources to pull this off. And also, Activision obviously wants this game to be massive, right? So I don't think it's a question of if they can pull it off. I just think it's how long are they going to take to pull it off, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that they could. But at the end of the day, when you turn an FPS like Call of Duty into an MMO, you have to sit back and say, what are the fans of Call of Duty expecting from this, right? So the fans of World of Warcraft might say, oh, this MMO stinks, it's a failure. But, the people who play Call of Duty might think it's something amazing because it's something that they've never seen before,
This could be the first MMO that makes it big on consoles.
Yeah.
The thing I want to point out, though,
thing.
is that, like, because WoW is so successful and since MMOs are so young,
Yeah.
the only way people think about MMOs is in that sort of MMORPG setting.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like that. All MMO means is it's a persistent online space with lots of players.
Yeah.
So they could do something that we don't even think about that they're going to do.
I mean, like automatically we think World of Warcraft. How can you turn a first-person shooter into that? Well, they don't need to.
Yeah, it's not going to be classes.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like that.
They don't need to. But and to your point, the only thing that will bring MMOs to consoles is a name like Call of Duty. I mean, let's be honest here.
Speaking of MMOs, rumors are spreading that Blizzard's trying to ruin your life even more, and that their next secret MMO is going to be half FPS, half Second Life-esque. Rich, are you buying this rumor?
I'm not buying this rumor, Bri.
Not buying it.
Not buying it. Because Blizzard, I mean, look, we love Blizzard, right? They make amazing games. This doesn't sound like an amazing game. The idea behind this is not ambitious, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I kind of agree with you. The idea isn't that ambitious, but the execution is going to be incredibly ambitious.
Okay, but we know that Blizzard can execute well. We know that if they wanted to, they could pull this off.
Yeah.
But in FPS, of all people, why would Blizzard need to make an FPS? Everyone's doing FPSs, okay? Blizzard is supposed to be the company that moves things forward, brings out the next big thing. They should not join this FPS craze. I don't want them making an FPS.
But let's think about it, though. What are the highest selling games in the PC? It's WoW, Half-Life, and The Sims.
Okay.
So why not combine two of them together? And it's
Why
not only
not?
that, but they're making a virtual world within a virtual world. And you're forgetting this is Blizzard. You know it's going to be well designed. It's not just going to be a shooting fest.
Yeah, but why make it an FPS though? I can't get over that. Last time Blizzard tried to make an FPS, it was StarCraft Ghost, and that game got shelved. Do you know why? Do you remember watching videos of the gameplay of that?
It did not look good.
It was awful. Of course they can pull people in who've worked on FPSs before. That's great. But I don't want to play an FPS. We just talked about Call of Duty MMO.
Yeah.
That's the FPS MMO I will play.
Here's the only other reason I think I kind of buy this. Is because WoW is still going strong. It's not going to die for a long time. Why would they cannibalize their own audience by having a similar MMO?
I agree with that. But look, first of all, I'm sure Activision is pushing the whole, let's make World of Warcraft 2 thing for whatever reason, which obviously wouldn't make sense because they're getting 10 million monthly fees every month, right? But I agree with that. Why make something similar to, everyone's expecting StarCraft, World of StarCraft.
Yeah.
No, I don't see that either. But, if you want to be original, stay away from the FPS.